People don't care who they hear of me. A woman will sell her precious body for a small piece of paper. It carries a lot of weight. More than me. Oh, my, la,
All right, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, cool. Hey, there I go. I got my, good morning. I got my buddy Keegan there. He's like my my new in-studio, what do you call that guy? The guy that runs the board in the back. So
Sound guy?
Sound guy, there you go.
Don't rely on me on too much, because the meeting yesterday, my headphones died, like the speaker part. So I could talk, but I couldn't hear anything. So I'm like, I think your audio died, and everyone's looking at me talking, and I just see the mouse move.
All right. Well, thank you, Keegan, for that. Guys, today the main point of the meeting, I want to talk a little bit about baseball. It's not one of my favorite sports, but there's a lot to learn from sports, and I think John Greer and I have always said that sports and sales kind of go hand in hand. With the training and the discipline and the mental toughness and all that. And who else better to quote? I hope my buddy David Grimm is on this call, as he's a huge Dodgers fan. David Grimm, hopefully you're on this call. But Babe Ruth, right? Never let the fear of striking out get in your way. And the reason I chose this quote in particular, I have a lot of you, we have a lot of new agents in the office. From Santa Ana and also from other offices. We got one agent join us from First Team, Remax, and ERA Real Estate. So we're really growing as an office. And a lot of them have asked me recently, what can I do during COVID? Or I need to make a sale really bad. And I was just thinking about, if you were Babe Ruth, you would just swing the bat at any ball that comes your way. So how do you translate that to real estate? It just means everybody that you see and meet, let them know that you're a real estate agent. And don't think about the end goal. Don't think about the money that you're going to make or think about the sale that you're going to make. The best thing to do is to think about just that first thing is making that connection, making that contact. And I promise you that will lead to more. Another thing that I wanted to bring up too was, I personally, and a lot of you did meet Bruce Mulhern, our company's broker and founder. And, I only know him as a successful broker that I, talked to, not a lot, but at least I interacted with him a little bit. So I can't say the same for other brokers out there. There are other very successful brokers out there, but I never really had any one-on-one time with them. But Bruce used to share a story with us about a time, and I want to say it was probably the early 90s. I think he was had about 11 locations at the time. Don't quote me on the exact number of this. Just, picture 11 offices. And due to the economic situation going on at that time, he had this shortened down to, I want to say, about 3 or 6 offices. And he said that everything he would do, he was failing at in regards to business. He even mentioned about being foreclosed on, or the bankers starting to foreclose on him on a big development out in Lake Tahoe, I believe. And it was like a condo conversion that he was creating or something like that. And going out there and then flying back and getting to LAX to his car, and his tire was flat. And he's in a suit, and everything's going wrong. And I remember him sharing with us, he said, at that time, one day I just put on my workout clothes, put on my tennis shoes, and I started jogging. And he goes, every day I started jogging and getting better and better at it and better at it. And that was the only thing in life that I was winning in at the time. And he goes, it's funny, but in correlation, as time went by, so did my business increase and get better. As my time got better on the mile, as I got better, as it got easier, running longer and faster and further, he goes, so did my business improve. So I ask you, if you are failing, and there's nothing wrong with failing, okay, that's part of life. But I ask you, what is one thing that you could start winning at? And it doesn't have to be exercise, okay? It could be making 1 hour a day to be with your significant other. It could be putting an hour a day towards being with your children. It could be going on a 30-minute walk tonight, right? And winning on that and making it through the whole week, putting in 5 days consistently. It's little wins, okay, that you're gonna get. And they don't have to be specifically in business, but I'll tell you what, Jim Rohn used to say, an apple a day. Well, actually, that's probably not Jim Rohn, but you know, he would quote somebody else, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But the one that Jim Rohn would also say is, a person that eats an apple a day, chances are their bank account is also healthy. It's just a thing in correlation with life. Just, you know, if you build little habits in certain parts of your life, then, you know, the rest will follow. So just something to keep in mind, you know, right now. Somebody said to me yesterday, gosh, I feel like everything around us is falling apart. You know, and I said, well, you know, Starbucks, 400 stores closed. Yesterday, I heard Pier 1 Imports filed for bankruptcy. Sioux Plantation will not be coming back. And how many others, all these small little businesses around us. But in a few seconds here, we're going to get to the numbers. And I am proud of our Cypress team. We are really doing great. And so, you know, I keep telling you guys this. I don't know why it's been a recurring thought in my head, but whether you think you're wrong or right, you're right, right? Henry Ford said that. So if you think this market is bad and it's not good and there's no sales happening, you're right. And if you think that there's lots of opportunity in this market, I'll tell you, you guys might be picking up background noise right now. I have Eduardo and Renee on phone calls with clients. I have Rosie Melgoza with clients in the conference room. I have Gene Browning here talking to clients too on the phone. So people are doing business. So there is definitely opportunity. And just to end this little intro real quick, Warren Buffett says that the best time, and I know this is kind of, you know, not, he's talking about the stock market. He's not talking about, you know, people being ill, but he says, you know, the best time to buy stock is when there's blood on the streets. And what that means, it doesn't mean, you know, people dying out there. It just means that when there's a lot of loss in the stock market, that's the best time to buy. So you've got to look for that opportunity that's out there, and it definitely is. So with that, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Anybody have any buyer, seller wants and needs? Please unmute yourself if you have anything that you'd like to talk about that you might have coming up. Anybody out there?
Hey, Benny, it's Debbie.
Hey, Debbie, how's it going?
It's going. I got a call that I'm temporarily looking for a rental about 2,000 to 2,200 in Orange, Fountain Valley-ish area.
Okay.
They're probably going to buy next year because they're getting an inheritance.
Okay.
But they want to rent right now, and of course we know that their price is a little bit low.
Yeah.
They want two bedroom, 2 full bath.
Okay.
They have a little dog, and they would prefer an attached or detached garage.
Okay. Well, anybody out there that has a rental, please keep Debbie Rubin in mind. If you need her contact info, please reach out to me. But Debbie's looking out there for a rental, so if you have one,
Thank you.
keep her in mind. Thank you. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, it's Fang.
Hey, Fang, how's it going?
Good. Sunday
missed
we
you.
went. Yeah, me too. Sunday we went to the appointment in Irvine, the new development area. But he bought this about like a few months ago. He completed remodel, but now he want to sell it because this is a number 3 home.
Okay.
He was thinking about 1.8. We haven't get a listing, but the Friday we're gonna know. It's 1.8 million, 1.8 million, and
Okay.
it's 3 bedrooms. How big was it? A lot. They completely finished. And it's a brand new, they have not living in, 2-car garage.
Okay.
Okay.
What
so
city?
Irvine.
Irvine. Okay.
Irvine.
So hey everybody, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, Irvine, coming soon, not on the market. These are the ones, you guys. These are the deals that you want to hear about, where you could work with another coworker in your office and not have to deal with the guessing game of are they going to push for you or in your offer to get accepted. So Irvine 3-2, and it's a brand new construction thing.
Yeah, brand new.
Brand new, guys.
They completely remodeled it, and they have not living in, and it's just a new develop.
Okay.
In a new developed area.
Got it. So you hear that, guys? And 1.8, so brand new. Keep that in mind, Irvine. If you've got somebody, anybody else? Thank you, Fang. Keep Fang in mind.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything? All right, real quick, Downey, I picked up one on Saturday, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Needs a little bit of makeup, a little bit of lipstick on it, but you could live in it for somebody starting out. 2-bedroom, 1-bath, close to 900 square feet, 6,000 square foot lot in South Downey, $490. Honestly, it probably will be the lowest price listing in the city of Downey. So if you've got a buyer, keep that in mind. Downey, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, $490. So, all right. Let's move on to the numbers. Money, money, money. That was our song for today. All right. So we've got 13 pending transactions. So some of those from last week already closed, but congrats to the Morales team. Angie Sandoval, Christina Fernot, Morales team kicking butt again. Rosie Malgoza, like I just mentioned, she's here with clients. Carrie Katsamata and Don, Sharon Sears. Rosie's name is all over this thing. Nancy Huang, Nancy and Feng. And then also congrats again, Renee Nava and Rosie. So congrats to all of you. Congrats. He said he just opened another one. So that'll be like 14 pending transactions that we know of on SkySlope, right, guys? Please, I got to encourage you guys to please add your transactions to SkySlope so we can have a better idea of what we got working with. So, all right. And then to the closings, 12 closed for the month so far. And I do know that Christina Fernot actually closed 2 yesterday. So these are not reflected here in these 12, but Christina Fernot doing really well. Jolie, Christine Bandy, congrats. Patrick, Carrie and Don, Angie Sandoval again, Jean Browning, Ho Chan, Wallace Ho, Juan Garcia, Jean, Jolie, and Jean again. So congrats to all of you on your production. All right, Mr. Keegan.
All right, thank you. So something I was going to mention today, well, there's actually 2 things that I thought would be really great to share with you. First is something Christy brought up, which we did a training last Friday on the different ways of holding title. What's the difference between joint tenant versus tenant in common, community property with rights to survivorship, all that. And so this is actually a great thing to reach out to past clients about. You can, look up and see, you can ask our customer service department, hey, here's a list of properties. Can you tell me what the vesting is? Was this joint tenant or not? And they'll send you back the documents, let you know. And then you can reach out to these people and you can say, hey, I noticed you signed up as tenants in common. And, you signed up with, it's you and your spouse. Have you considered that there might be other ways of holding title that are more advantageous? And we have a actual flyer that I can give you. It's a 1-page thing showing different ways, and you can forward it to them. And this is great because it just starts a conversation. It's you bringing value to them, and then you can start bringing up the conversation with them. So, oh hey, so I've noticed that you've been living here for 5 years. How are you enjoying it? do you have friends that are interested in moving in nearby? Do you have neighbors that you're good friends with that, might be interested in moving out? Just a great way to reconnect with people in your sphere of influence and possibly get new referrals.
Totally. Guys, I want to add to that. Great point, Keegan. Yesterday, John Greer was in the office and Christina Furneaux stopped by, and John Greer asked her, hey, you're with Brian Buffini Coaching? And she goes, yeah. He goes, how's that worked out for you? And her reply was, it's worked out 300% to my business. And if you guys have seen her numbers, I mean, she's really, I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year, she's in the top 10 of the entire company. And what it is basically Brian Buffini or the company, they send her this one letter a month. She makes copies of that and she sends it out. And candidly, she was sharing with us that, she delegates that part of the process to somebody else, and they do it all for her. Bruce would always say the 3 Ds: either do it, delegate it, or ditch it. And I think that's very smart. She's doing what she does best, which is going out there, sitting on those listing appointments and signing those contracts for new listings. So it works. What Keegan is saying here is just another opportunity to bring value to your client. And I've read the Buffini letters before. Some of them are, they talk about the importance of having excellent credit and how you can build your credit. Some talk about, small fixes that you could do around the house to, improve your equity. Certain little things like that, just once a month, but she's top of mind. And some of you recently have talked to me about Facebook, and I tell you that, that's the CRM that I believe in, because I get to see my clients on there every day, and I share real estate stuff with them, and I share personal stuff with them. I share quotes. I love quotes. Christy Rice says that I speak in quotes. So, just remember, these are great things, and you have the right team to help you out with this, like Keegan just mentioned, and you can stay top of mind with, like you said, there's better ways of holding title than just joint tenants as a husband and wife. So cool. So anything else, Keegan? Are we good?
The other thing I was going to mention is for forbearance. It's 180 days as default if you have applied for forbearance. They can extend it out another 180 days, but if they start it, basically what I'm trying to get at is you can expect that first wave of people who sign up for forbearance, it's going to end in September. So you should expect around October, November, a huge spike in notices of default.
Wow, got it.
This is just something I've been noticing, just looking at some websites for real estate information. So I would expect to see that in September, October, November.
Very well. Well, thank you for sharing that information. We appreciate it. Again, everybody, don't forget the right team on your next title order. And also, as long as you're a loyal supporter of the team, sometimes you're representing a buyer and you don't get that chance to order that title in your name, or sorry, in OCT's name. But, you have questions on that report. Christy and the team are always willing to help and answer any questions that you might have on that. So please keep them in mind for all your title needs. And on to Mr. Money, 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 Money.
All right. Bye, everyone. There's another meeting I have to cover right now.
You got it. Thanks, Keegan. Have a great day.
You too.
Mr. Joe Coy.
Thanks, Benny. Good morning, everyone. Got some updates for you. One I'm super excited about is there was a down payment assistance program that was suspended when the COVID-19 happened. And that program is called Open Doors. It's from the Golden State Finance Authority. What I like so much about this program is the FICO score requirements are lower than any other down payment assistance program. It only requires a 640 FICO score. There's no income limits whatsoever if you go with their FHA option. So you literally could be making $1 million a year and use down payment assistance to buy a home. Non-occupant co-borrowers are allowed if you go with their FHA option. The only downside to this program is that the maximum loan limit is $510,000. So it's not really for your high cost areas. It's going to be best maybe for those purchase prices around 530 or less. But it meets so much criteria that other programs don't meet. And it's opened up a lot of doors, like the name of the program says. It's opened up a lot of doors for clients, and I've used this program quite a lot, where other programs wouldn't allow that client to qualify. So if you have any questions about that program, let me know. The other thing I want to talk about is rates. Rates today are still excellent. You're looking at about 2.875% on an FHA loan, about 2.75% on a VA loan. Conventional, you're around 3.125 on a conforming loan amount, and for a high balance loan amount, you're at about 3.25, 3.375. The last thing that I wanted to discuss was turn times. I've been hearing from other realtor partners, whether it's their listing or whether it's a client that they're representing, that some lenders are having trouble getting out initial disclosures within a reasonable time frame. Some lenders are taking over a week just to get initial disclosures out. They're not ordering the appraisal until the second week of the transaction. They're not able to meet the loan contingency, appraisal contingency, and close of escrow date timeframes. We're certainly not having any of those issues. The realtors I'm working with are still able to write very competitive offers, removing loan appraisal contingency in 10 days, removing loan contingency in 14 days, closing in 25 days, certainly under 30 days. It's really business as usual for us here at New American Funding. So we're able to close transactions on time, under 30 days. And if that could be of use to your clients, definitely let me know. And we'd be happy to help you guys write those competitive offers that are needed, especially in this market right now. I hear there's a lot of low inventory. There's multiple offers on properties. They're selling above asking price, and they're going to those clients who are able to tighten up those contingency periods and close on time. So
awesome.
that's what I got for you.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, you guys, it's just like I remember when the first wave of short sales hit, and John Greer's been around longer than me, so he'll tell you that he saw short sales probably a couple times before that. But I remember in 08, 09, the banks didn't know what the hell to do with a short sale, and then later on they established loss mitigation departments and whatnot. So lending, for everybody, this COVID thing was a new thing for the entire world, and I'm sure there was a lot of delays, say maybe a month or 2 months ago, but like Joe's saying now, they kind of got it all squared away. That's not to say that that's every lender, but at least New American Funding has got their game down. So keep Joe in mind, guys. He's got all kinds of programs. I always tell you, don't get caught up in the details. You do not need to become a lender or take any lender courses. That's why Joe gets paid as well, because he's the lender and he takes all that education and knowledge to be able to help you out. So he's just an extension of you, and he's a team member, and please, use him, with all your clients. So please remember him on your next qualifying appointment with a buyer. New American Funding, Joe Coy. Thanks, Joe. All right, do we have Stephanie Pagan?
Hi.
Hello.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Sorry, I have to do it on my cell because I have.
You're all good. Don't worry about it.
Going on. Okay.
Did you see the quote that we had up in the beginning about Babe Ruth?
I didn't see it.
He said don't let striking out get in your way.
Okay.
So hey, however you do it, you're not striking out. You're hitting the home run right now.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So a couple quick things. Just wanted to remind you guys that we have a lot of farming materials that are free to you. I'm getting a lot of phone calls now. I think people are starting to pick up their farming again and are looking for some freebies. So we have some. If you guys all you have to do is just register at fahw.com. You can see some postcards just listed, just sold postcards, newsletters. All this is customizable with your picture and your company logo. And remember, they're free, except for with the customizable stuff. You're only allowed per RESPA. We're only allowed to send you 25 prints of them. But that being said, you can just, we have all the wording there. You guys can just send it to your printer or whoever. I don't know how you print, but send it to them and they can obviously print you more. But at least we have all the wording for you. You don't have to go and try to design anything. They're actually all really nice. And then the second thing, I don't know in today's market necessarily, maybe it is back, but lender credits, seller credits, you guys, if there's any left on the table and you're looking for a place to spend them, don't forget we offer a 2nd year home warranty. Yep, 2 years is a great, great place to spend those if there's anything left over. Oh, sorry, my battery's dying. 2 years, 2nd year is discounted, which is a big deal. And why I think that's so important is because after the 1st year, when the seller gets their renewal notice, the renewal goes up about $150 to $175. I always seem to get that phone call from the agent because the homeowner has now reached out to them asking them, oh my gosh, why is it so expensive now? That kind of thing. It only goes up the 2nd year. It doesn't go up the 3rd, 4th, 5th. It goes up just the 2nd, but it's a good expense. So if they, and if there's no credits, it's still really good to just let them know that there is a 2nd year at a discount available for them. They might want to do it themselves up front and not get charged the renewal rate. So just wanted to remind you guys about that. And if you know of anybody who's refining, the home warranty is now putting, First American is now putting home warranties on refis.
Cool.
So it's a good topic of conversation if you know of somebody who might be interested, and let them know that. Give you a reason to reach out and talk to them.
Yeah.
Other than that, thank you guys so much for the continued support. I'm here to help. Just give me a call, text, or email.
Hey guys, and I just want to follow up. A couple days ago, a couple agents asked me, they're writing offers, and they said, "Hey Benny, how do you know how much money to ask on the home warranty?" And I told them, you know what? After a while, it's just like, I don't know, somewhere in here, I roll the dice, and it kind of comes close to it. But if you want to be pretty close to it, Stephanie gives you a booklet that she drops off here where you can see what, the different coverages are and what they cost. Or if you look at the screen right there, there's her cell phone number. You could text her and say, "Hey, Steph, I got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet with a swimming pool. How much should I ask for a credit on the home warranty?" She'll text you right back.
Yep, do that, and I can email you guys a PDF of our brochure so you have it on hand.
Sweet.
So.
There you go. Look at that, guys. So see, she's already thinking, touchless brochures. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Steph. It's nice seeing you. Thanks for being on the call.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Mr. Caesar, are you on? Caesar. He said he was going to be on. He wanted to introduce somebody to us today. Caesar, are you on the call?
Not on the list.
He's not. Okay. He might have gotten caught up or something. Okay. Yeah, he messaged me a few minutes ago saying that he'd be on there, but all right. If he comes back, we'll give him a few minutes. All right, Mr. John Greer.
Let me, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning. I just want to, I think, in the market that we're in with the coronavirus and the negativity with that and the protests and riots and all, I kind of wanted to get some ammunition out to you guys that for instance, right now, somebody, says, hey, John, how's the market? And they're wanting me to, get negative and, oh gosh, it's terrible. And I don't know, I can't pay my bills. That's what they want to hear. So, it's kind of, I was reading this in the business section of the Orange County Register. And what caught my attention was that that the headline at the top of the page is home sales in May fell 41.4%. And I would feel like that's what everybody wants to hear. And I thought, wow, what happened? I read the article, and here's the ammunition is that I'll kind of go through. I'm going to chop it up, but for time's sake, that the sharp sales drop in May was the steepest we've seen in some time. But there are encouraging signs that show the market is recovering and should continue to improve over the next few months. CAR President Jeannie Radzik Bakersfield said. Los Angeles, now check this out. Los Angeles metro area posted a 46% sales drop last month, the biggest annual percentage decline for the region since October 2007. But house prices were up from a year ago. Get that, the house prices were up from a year ago levels in Southern California county. This is out of whack here, county, but Orange, where the median or price at the midpoint of all sales dipped 1.2%. Well, for one, Orange County is one of the highest price ranges over there, so that market is going to be a little more volatile. I've seen the higher price ranges. When it's hot, it's on fire, and when it's cold, man, those homes, $2-3 million homes, aren't moving at all, right? But meanwhile, the statewide median house price fell for the first time since February 2012, dropping 3.7%. So statewide, the median price is $588. Southern California, however, house prices were more stable. In Los Angeles County, the median house price rose 1.4% to $546. Riverside County had a gain of 3.4. San Bernardino saw a rise 1.6. So prices are weaker in Orange County, again, the region's most expensive housing market. The median price for single home built $834 last month. So anyway, numbers show transactions are rebounding somewhat. New escrows in Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino were up 48% as of June 11th. Excuse me, from the previous month. We're up 2% from year before. Excuse me. Oh boy, sorry. I'm so sorry. So anyway, you know, the last thing was, while we expect sales activity to remain below pre-COVID-19 levels, closed sales should improve markedly as the phased reopening of the economy continues and consumers feel more confident returning to the market. So I'm just saying the numbers are out though. Those are from CoreLogic, and that's a company that tracks that, and it's coming from California Association of Realtors. Those statistics are in. Prices have gone up from last year, and you know, you can't. I think the media is wanting to sell their newspapers and have you watch the news at night, and to put that out, home sales in mail fell 41% in May. Fell, you know what I'm saying? But when you read through it, you see that that's not really the case of what we're going through now. So that's behind us, and we're moving forward. And Benny, I mean, what you're telling me with the closed sales that we have, plus all the open escrows, I don't know what you know. People ask me, how's the market going? What's prices doing? Prices are going up. Our office has got 14, 15 transactions closed already this month. We still have a week and a half to go. You know, so pop that under your cap and be sure and be positive with people. You know, not all of us are having 5 sales right now, but stay positive with it, because the market does look like it's fine, and I think we should hopefully start to see a few more listings pop up as people start to feel a little more comfortable. So that's what I had for today, Beanie.
Cool. You know, and I wanted to mention, speaking on that, we actually have 19 listings in the office, but they're all under contract. So, you know, some of them might actually have already closed, but the agents haven't changed the statuses on them. But I mean, that's incredible, guys. So, yeah, absolutely. And John, you'll agree with this. I mean, when you ask the salesperson, you know, what's the best time to sell? Well, now. But you know, they always say that spring and summer are the best times. And you know, summer just started up. Was that Saturday, I believe? So you know, hopefully I'm not wrong on that. Hopefully it's not Sunday, but whatever. So we're here. Summer's here. It's the best time to sell, guys. And I think you could see that multiple bids, multiple offers. we showed you that picture last week about all those people standing in line in Bell looking at a property, and our numbers are definitely showing it. So there's definitely opportunity out there, regardless of, you know, whatever the governor's saying about putting masks on in public places, and that, you know, the numbers on COVID-19 shot up. You know, the other day, a friend of mine asked me, well, you know, what are the numbers? And so we looked at Orange County and we looked at LA County, and honestly, for you know, the numbers in Orange County of deaths are probably under 200. I think LA County is much higher than that. It's probably like 2,000. But out of the number of the population, it was actually 4% was the death rate. 4%. Now, yeah, that's terrible. You know, that 4% represents a lot of people. But, you know, if you think about it, that's a 96% survival rate. So it's not as crazy as it's, you know, the media is portraying it to be. So you got to make sure that you know those numbers. But anything else to add there, John Greer?
Well, yeah, I was thinking, you know, what Joe said earlier with the rates at what they're at, 3% or less. I mean, talking to a friend, a past client actually, that you know, should they buy? Or I said, hey, look, you know, with the rates where they're at, I would say buying is the best choice, and that's pretty obvious for a lot of people right now, because there are multiple offers. There's more people that want to buy than there are houses for sale. But yeah, man, to me, I think, you know, like you were saying, Benny, you know, Warren Buffett says, you know, to buy, you know, when the stock market's low. And I would say right now, I don't know. Personally, I feel like the only way we have to go is up in our market, and as far as prices are concerned and sales volume. So stay with it, and if you're not that busy right now, you know, look around. There is a lot of business out there. And one of the other things, Benny, I wanted to add was changing subjects a little bit, was with Christina Furneaux, with that conversation about Brian Buffini. That, for those that don't know, is for the most part follow-up with friends, family, or a sphere of influence. And she was saying that all those deals she's got right now are, and Christina, if you're here, I'm taking, I don't know if she's on the call, but they're all from referrals from friends, family, and pretty much that's all she's been working on for this year is referrals. And I'll tell you, when you're in a kind of a funny market like we are, having referrals and people that really trust you and will do what you say and stuff like that, it sure helps in this market to have their cooperation. So just saying, for those that might not be familiar with Brian Buffini or forgotten about him, that's a good program. And Christina's not the only one in our office that's using that program. There's several others, and they're all.
Marjorie Tyson's on it too, and she's also, you know, in the top 35 of agents in the company as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. All right. Let's move on. I wanted to just, you know, wrap up the meeting with this. I remember, I don't know if David Grimm's on this call, man. I hope he is. Otherwise, he's going to be a little bummed out because he's a huge baseball fan. But I remember when, what is it? I'm not a huge
I'm here
person, but hey, Dave, you know what? Real quick, if you don't mind, is this in the last 5 years? Is this the second time that the Dodgers went to the World Series or got close to it? Can you share on that?
Yes, it is, and I think John Greer can attest to that as well.
Okay. So one thing, David and everybody else, you know, I remember watching those games, right? And you know, because that's the thing, you know, when the World Series is on and the Dodgers are in it, I mean, you're gonna go out or whatever, stay home, whatever, but you're gonna have it on, you know, for the most part. And I remember watching those games and going, these guys are swinging for the home run, which I think if you're a little boy growing up and you're thinking about baseball and you join baseball, that's like the goal, right? Is to hit a home run, right? That's like the big thing. But I remember saying that to people sitting with me while watching these games is, man, these guys should just focus on getting on base. Like a home run's good. That'd be awesome. It would liven everybody up and it would make everybody really happy and everything, but just get on base. And so that's why I called this today, Get on Base. And that's why I wanted to make it a little baseball theme, because a lot of you are coming to me, I need to make a sale. Benny, what do I do to make a sale? How do I make a sale? And you know, my real thought is, how about let's just get on base, right? And what is getting on base? Getting on base is, for our business is make a contact, meet somebody, hand them your business card, let them know that you're in the business, right? Getting on base is being Christina Furneaux and mailing out to your database every month so that they know that you're in the business, right? Bringing something of value to those people. Getting on base is John Greer and the Grimm team going out and passing out calendars in their neighborhood. So that's getting on base. So I did a little research and went back and looked into little write-ups and things that people put out there on the internet regarding baseball. And this came from like some pretty major league baseball coaches and also little league coaches too. And I just wanted to see like what their thoughts were or what their main rules for the game were. And number one was that you got to respect the game. So I think what that translates to us in real estate is that you got to respect real estate for what it's going to do. And again, it's, you know, you've had this thing with COVID where it threw everybody off, but you know, real estate's still out there, and you got to still do it, and it's going to do things still. And so here's one thing that, give me a sec. I'm going to close out this little here so I can read this through thoroughly. So one of the coaches said, show up prepared, get enough sleep, eat right, and prepare correctly so that you have a chance to succeed, but you must also realize that this is a game of failure. Can you believe that a coach is telling his players, you got to realize that this is a game of failure, right? What did the quote that we first started out with? It was Babe Ruth. He said, you don't ever let striking out get in your way. So the coach goes on to say, fail only 2 out of 3 times at the plate for your career, and you'll end up in the Hall of Fame. Think of that mindset. You could strike out 2 out of 3 times at the plate, and you'll end up in the Hall of Fame, right? Easier said than done, right, David Grimm? Easier said than done. But the player that throws a tantrum because he struck out is not respecting the game. Babe Ruth struck out 4,000 times. So when you go on a listing appointment and you don't get it, yeah, you can get upset. You can get upset, but rather than get upset, you know, and I know Marjorie Tyson didn't make this up. We've heard this quote before, but she says, you know, when you lose, don't lose the lesson. Look back. Did you go to the preseason training? Were you practicing? Were you like Kobe Bryant? Did you rent a court with an injured hand, but practice throwing free throws with your other hand? Was that you, or were you, you know, when I get to the listing appointment, I'll you know, I'll do it off the cuff. You know, which one are you, right? So respect the game, but at the end of the day, also be like Babe Ruth and just go strike out. Look at that, 4,000 times he struck out, but we're still talking about him how many years later? Number 2, the coaches said that you got to work hard, right? That's in anything. You know, it's so funny. I share with you guys when I got into real estate, my friend that painted real estate to me made it seem like, you know, they were just going to hand you a safe full of money and you'd have a Ferrari parked outside and all beautiful suits, and it would be a beautiful life ever after. And you wouldn't have to do anything else to really make any money. It would just come easily. And I remember my manager says, here, draw a sphere of influence and call everybody and tell them that you're in real estate, right? I go, oh my gosh, that's hard work, right? And I remember my friend that brought me in the business, she goes, hey, I never said it was easy. So it is hard work, but at the same time, it really isn't. So the coach also said, practice having success. It's better to take 10 perfect swings on the tee than 100 with little thought or consistency. So perfect it, right? If you're going on an appointment, you should practice enough times, having a fake appointment. And then when you're out on the game, the actual time when you need to win, you'll be better then. So, of course, Babe Ruth, strikeout. Yes, if the more appointments you go on, the numbers are in your favor. You're going to win eventually. But, it's not every day that we go on a listing appointment. So we should perfect our presentation so that we don't strike out on those appointments. So he goes, I'm very familiar with some big-time college programs that work their players to the point of exhaustion daily, hundreds of defensive reps with max intensity and max effort, each time with a stopwatch. I assure you they would get far better results in the games if they were just to take 20 to 30 ground balls a day, focusing on the players executing correctly and having success. So mastering that presentation and your skills versus just, winging it will have far better results. Number 3, he says, and this is a different coach. It was different coaches that I took little tidbits from, but they said, don't forget to have fun, right? They tell their major, this is nuts because, baseball players don't make peanuts. They make millions, right? You hear these contracts that are like, what? So they make really nice money, but at the same time, their coaches remind them, don't forget to have fun. So this is the most often forgotten essential element in baseball. Baseball is a little boy's game that if you are lucky, you can play into adulthood. Sorry, I copy and pasted that. Even major league players sometimes forget that you are not playing the other team. You're playing only the ball. To the ball, there are no big games. It is just the ball thrown over the plate. It is just the ball bouncing along the ground. The player must execute as he has thousands of times before. He will not do better by trying harder. He will, in fact, often do far worse. Remember what I said last week about the razor and about the golf club? You got to let the razor and you got to let the golf club do its job, right? You've got to perfect your swing, right? Your angle, right? You got to perfect your maybe lathering up correctly and how to hold the razor, but let it do its job, right? I remember one of my managers starting out in the business, he used to say, the market doesn't know that you exist, right? So he goes, you have no effect on the market and it has no effect on you because it doesn't even know that you exist. So sometimes you got to remember, just forget about, like if you were in the major leagues, forget about the audience and everybody out there in the stands, right? Focus on the ball. So focus on, I would say in our case, the contracts. Focus on getting the signed contract. Focus on writing the offer. Focus on taking the listing, getting your listing agreement signed. So number 4, you got to believe in your ability. Somebody said to me the other day, and I shared a little story with them, but they said, sometimes in a certain market, I don't feel like I fit in, right? For example, if we were to go today to Beverly Hills, right, and I go on a listing appointment there, I could possibly say that I do not fit in listing a $20 million property, right? And they also mentioned to me, this person I was talking to, they said, well, in that market, a higher end market near where I live, there's these other top agents, right? And I said, well, whether you believe you can list a home that size or whether you believe you can't, you're absolutely right. So you got to believe in your ability to do it, right? And one of the things was, well, there's this agent in the area that dominates and they carry about 50 listings in that specific neighborhood. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what I would do differently from Mr. 50 listings over there is he's got 50 listings, so you just be another number to him. Whereas between you and me, you're my only listing. So I'm going to give you 120% of me daily. I'm going to make sure that I'm there every day to show your property. I'm going to make sure that I'm there to answer every single question you have. I'm going to make sure that I protect the value in your home and get you top dollar when it comes to getting those offers and negotiating on your property, right? So if you believe that you can sell it, you probably more than likely will get the listing. But if you believe that, you know what, I don't speak the language, I've got an accent, I'm too short, I'm too fat, I'm too tall, I didn't practice my listing presentation, well, that's a little bit different. But you know, you got to believe in your ability. The other one is walk the walk, right? They say, you know, walk the talk or talk the walk or whatever, but walk the walk. And this coach said, confidence and cockiness are similar, but very different. Each are easily mistaken if you don't know the background of the person portraying these qualities. A confident hitter is a prepared hitter. Confident hitters walk up to the plate with their chin up, a look of dominance in their eyes, and a sense of purpose in their body language. If you've studied before in the past, if you've been in sales for a while, I don't know the exact numbers. I have friends that have it memorized, but you know that they say that body language is so much, and then delivery is so much, and then what you say is a certain percentage of you know, of the delivery. And I believe this. You know, if you know what to say, yeah, you might be like me. You know, I sometimes get a little sweaty and I stutter, right? I like to tell my clients now, sometimes when I sweat in front of them, the reason I sweat is I'm so excited about listing your house. but you know, when you know what you're talking about, people can tell, right? There's a quote by Steve Wynn. He says, tell the truth, people can smell the truth, right? If you have your stats down, have your presentation down, you're going to walk in confident to an appointment. You know, you're going to know what to say and do and how to answer certain things. I tell a lot of you that are newer to focus on working with buyers in the beginning, because, you know, especially first-time buyers, they don't know, right? And you could work that and get a quicker paycheck and whatnot, right? Sellers is a different thing because there's so many angles with sellers, right? They can throw so many curveballs at you. So that's why you got to practice your listing presentation, you know, at least 2-3 times a week, if not daily, to get better and become more confident. So when you're actually on the field, even if it's maybe your first listing presentation ever, you're coming off a lot more confident than if you just walk in and never, ever even practice a presentation or what to say and do. So identity perspective, and we're going to wrap it up with this. This coach said, think about the different levels of life and how they compare to the game of baseball. We live our preteen years with no worries about the past or the future, just focused on the present game, the present meal, the present moment. Isn't that right? You know, one of the things that I tell a lot of my friends lately, and it's not that I'm negative or feel a certain way or anything, I just tell them, you know, now at the age of 37, and I'll be 38 in August, I tell them, I think more about my mortality. You know, and it's weird. That's not something a 37, 38-year-old should be thinking about, but I do. I think about the time that's running out on me, right? When you're a kid, you think you're invincible. You think you'll never die, right? You don't, death never crosses your mind. I remember when I was a kid, you know, sadly, somebody in my peer group died from a concussion. And even after watching that person pass, to me, it still seemed like it would never happen to me or that it will never happen. But now, look, you know, several years later, 20 years later, you know, now I do think, wow, you know, that's going to happen. It's going to happen to everybody. It's going to happen to all of us, right? So he's saying that, you know, when you're a kid, you don't think about those things, right? Then he's talking about when you get into your teens and you become distracted by outside influences, you are more independent in your decisions. High school and college baseball are no different. We're worried about the recruiting process, right? You all know a teen out there or even one of your friends or family that have a team that's in high school right now and they're in sports and they're doing well. And the parents are like, I mean, I've seen it. I have a cousin that has a son in soccer, and he's talking about, oh, you know, the recruiters are coming out, or the scouters are coming out, and they're watching my boy, and they've told me that they're going to take him up, and this and that, and their whole world, my cousin's Monday through Sunday revolves around soccer and you know, getting this kid to his practices and feeding him well and waking him up and making sure he does his homework so he doesn't get kicked out of the program and all this stuff, right? Well, he says high school and college baseball are no different. We're worried about the recruiting process, the competition. Do I get extra work in? Do I go hang out with my girlfriend, sleep, or party? This is when we become torn between the cool thing to do and the right thing to do. Adult life comes along and we have to work harder than ever before. We have more responsibilities and less help and guidance than we did earlier in life. So isn't that crazy? Even in sports, when you think about, you know, athletes and what they do, I mean, it translates over just to real estate as well. You have the choice of whether you choose to perfect your game, perfect your talent, practice, rehearse, repeat, or not do any of that. Don't go to the meetings, don't practice, don't train, don't do anything, and then probably see yourself out of the business in 5 years, right? My mentor told me the first 5 years, he said, the 5th year is the hardest year in real estate. And I said, why is that? He goes, well, you got to think that the first 4 years is like being in college. You're in real estate college. On the 5th year, school's out. If you don't succeed in the 5th year, you're not going to make it. I remember being scared to death my 5th year in the business because I thought, you know what, this guy's right. I've been in it long enough to know enough to either succeed or fail. And if I fail this year, I probably won't come back. And again, look at this baseball thing. So every day you've got the choice of whether, you know, you want to be in the game and, you know, play in the major leagues or not, you know, and trust me, there's a lot of people out there that never made it to the major leagues, and it sucks. It's sad, you know, but it is what it is. I remember a couple years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, a corporate brought a speaker out to us, and this guy was a baseball player that was, you know, looking to become pro, and I think he was pro for a little bit, and then all that got shattered. So on the last thing that he said, as someone who's played professional baseball before, what that lifestyle reminds them of. You can't live a confident life trying to be someone you're not. You must understand your purpose. Failure is guaranteed in life, just as it is in the batter's box. How do you respond? Well, you understand that baseball is what you do, but not who you are. So again, you know, it's that's a pretty tough last final statement for me personally, because, you know, when I think when people talk to people about me, they go, God, all that guy does is real estate. You know, every time he opens his mouth, it's just 3-2 with a pool and back 550, you know? But, you know, that's probably who I chose to be. And I told myself that, yeah, this is what I want to do. And this is my career. And do I want to make it to the major leagues? I totally do. I'm still trying every day. But that doesn't mean that that's who you have to become, you know? Like I mentioned before, your goals are all different, right? Your goals don't have to be the same as Christina Furneaux's. And trust me, when I look at Christina Furneaux, it's funny. When I talk to her, she doesn't look like she's carrying 10 deals on her. She's just like, oh, I just stopped by to answer a couple emails and send a couple text messages. Oh, I'm meeting with a client a little bit later today. You know, and then I'm thinking to myself, man, if I had 10 deals like her, I'd be all stressed out, lose another set of hair, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. So keep that in mind, guys. I think the main point to this all is that, you know, both sides of the coin is strike out, you know, take a swing. Whenever you meet somebody out there, remind them that you're in real estate, introduce yourself, make more contacts, swing the bat. It's a game. You got to swing the bat, keep swinging at that ball, strike out. It's okay. You're going to fail. But look, Babe Ruth succeeded. But at the same time, the other side of it is practice, practice your speech, practice your delivery, practice your scripts, your presentations. Be ready for when the game is on so that you don't strike out, so that you do hit a home run. But then I think in closing, don't forget to get on base. So don't shoot for, oh, Benny, I want to double in this deal today. You know what? Just get on base, open escrow, get on base, write an offer, get on base, add another phone number to your database. That's what getting on base is. I hope that you'll keep that in mind and make that a goal for yourself for the rest of the year. Get on base. Don't think about the end result. That's all going to come. Just focus on getting on base. All right. Any questions? Does anybody have anything not even specific to this that you that you'd like to ask? Anything whatsoever? Please unmute yourself. Everybody good, I guess? All right. Well, everybody make it a great, amazing week. One last thing. Thursday, you're going to get an email from corporate, probably if you haven't already. Go into your search tab in your email and put their BHHS, whatever their email is that they send it to you from, bhhscaprops.com. It's probably one of those emails. I think the easiest thing is just to do BHHS in your search bar, hit enter, and then see that. Thursday at 1:30, they're going to have Bill Jansen, which is our risk management attorney. He's going to be on a call with all of us. So sharing just a legal update. Please, the more you know, the better you'll be. So please be on that call, 1:30 this Thursday. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your week. Get on base.